on emotional intelligence for entrepreneurs and business owners. Okay. So if you're new to this space, again, this is Coach Toyin. I'm a business coach, author of Mindset of an Entrepreneur, founder of the Entrepreneurs Academy. I teach international trade development, business development, mindset coaching, emotional intelligence coaching, pretty much empowering and equipping, right, those who want to build successful business, whether here locally in the US or internationally as well. So we have a suite of programs, landscape, events, platforms that I run that really all we are just focused about is empowering, equipping, right, enlightening and connecting our clients and students. So happy to have you here. I already sent out a newsletter on the same topic, but whenever I speak and come out to engage this way, I usually go deeper, right? Whenever I write, my writings are kind of like the summary of my thoughts. So I love to speak. I also have a TV show here in the city called Quantum Leap, where I host business and government leaders, really also to equip, to enlighten, and showcase grants, programs that is available for those who want to go to higher dimensions of success. Okay. So that's just the beginning highlight. Welcome, welcome. I'm going to go deeper now. So when I talk about emotional intelligence for entrepreneurs, let me share with you as I coach, as I teach, and listen, my work goes really to people around the world. I've had the opportunity of training entrepreneurs from 38 countries, and I see some universal concepts. Okay. And that's what inform how I teach, what I share, how I empower people is that I've traveled the world, I've seen the world, I work with people, listen, at the highest levels in the world, from Fortune 1, government, presidential appointee, ambassadors, to really startups, people with ideas who want to commercialize their ideas. So I have this privilege of just seeing the spectrum of being exposed to the most successful people in the world. I also serve on the board of a public business, and then to see the struggles of those who are entering the business world for the first time. I served as a strategist as Fortune 1, world's largest company. So when it comes to designing strategies for the biggest company in the world as well, I've had that opportunity. So when I talk and I share passionately, listen, the things I share are based on real experiences. Like many people out there will read a book and tell you ABCD. I only teach the things I've handled. I only teach the things I've seen. I only teach the things I've experienced to empower other people coming behind us so that you don't make our mistakes, so that you learn faster. You don't take 20 years going round and round, spinning around in circles. You can actually move forward and we can clear the way and help you achieve success sooner, faster, instead of later. So that's why this type of conversation is very, very extremely powerful and important. So I want to welcome those who are joining on different platforms. We have LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Clubhouse running at the same time. Yeah, that's my strategy. I can be in one place physically, but listen, I'm everywhere. I've spent years mastering all the platform, and I noticed, this is what I noticed, that everybody loves their own platform. LinkedIn people love LinkedIn. Instagram people love Instagram. Facebook people like, listen, diehard fan. Twitter people will never leave, no matter what Elon Musk does to them. Okay? Some have left, some still remain. And Clubhouse is clubhousing. Listen, we are going to have fun. I'm trying to be funny as well. So that's why I use this kind of framework to really bring everybody together all at once. So we have people from different platforms, but this unites us. Okay? So those who want to speak on audio on Clubhouse, the stage is open. If you want to engage, you know how to run that system. Those who just want to type on the other platforms, yes, come on in, type. I will accommodate all the needs of everybody. Okay? So welcome. I see Keisha, Petronila, Dave on Clubhouse. Mr. Bosse, they already joined us. Yes, people will start speaking shortly. So let me just quickly give you some myths about today's topic. The first thing I want to share with you is that 10% of the success of your journey, you can attribute it to technical skills. And technical skills are extremely, extremely powerful. That's why I dedicate significant time with the 10-week accelerator, empowering people with technical skills, branding, marketing, sales, right? Pricing, like real technical, like business model engineering. How do you price your product? How do you structure it? Like how do you get the money, right? How do you train yourself? Technical skills are Very powerful, very important. And I spend significant time teaching, training on tech. You will find me with PowerPoint and all of that. But if technical skills is all you need for success, everybody should be winning right now. What I have found that actually 90% of success is tied to emotional, human relational intelligence. That's the breaking news. Most people in the world have been made to believe, okay, that when they continue to pursue technical competency, suddenly they will build wealth. No. In fact, you can always buy technical skills. You can get somebody else to do what you don't want to do. You can get somebody to program. You can get somebody to create your website. You can get somebody to build your product. You can always pay somebody to build technical things that need technical skill. You can get an engineer. You can get data science. You can always buy technical skills. Technical skills, you can buy it in the marketplace. You can even use ChatGPT, AI technology. Technical things are cheap, easily acquired. You can acquire technical skills. Develop yours, absolutely. But you can hire a brand strategist, you can hire a marketing expert, you can hire, right? What else? Sales. You can even build a sales team, right? Sales professionals to go and be able to sell. You can do all of that. What you cannot do, okay, is where your own wealth creation ability lies. And that is where your own emotions, what's going on inside you, and how you relate with the external world outside of you. That you cannot outsource. You cannot pay $1 million for somebody else to manage your own emotions for you. You cannot. And the entirety of your success journey, in fact, the entirety of life journey, life here in this dimension, every moment, every hour, every waking moment, you are in relationship with yourself first. What's going on? The thoughts in you, how you feel, what you're experiencing. That's the first, that's the energetic, right? What you're carrying energetically. Okay? How polarized, positively polarized, negatively polarized. There are a lot of technical things I go to in my classes on emotional intelligence for entrepreneurs. Is that no matter what people teach you, no matter what I say to you, no matter what you are processing right now, ultimately, what is most important is how you feel within yourself, whether those feelings empowers you, equips you, helps you continue to move forward on your own journey, or whether you are drowning under your own thoughts and emotions. This is what determines who moves forward and who stops and gives up. Your ability to navigate your internal dimensions, and then also in relation with other people, being able to say, come along with me, whether your staff, whether your vendors, whether your clients and your customers, whoever you're going to work with relationally, whether it's your spouse, your anytime you're in relationship with another human being, they are in relationship with what's going on with you internally, and you are in relationship with what's going on with them internally. Right there, therein lies the whole journey of success. Entirety. When you wake up, how do you feel? In the afternoon, how do you feel? In the night, how do you feel? Every single day, processing your own thoughts, feelings, emotions, beliefs. That's what matters. So you can teach and go and consume content, but if you don't sit with yourself to develop that internal skills that gives you peace, that gives you joy, that gives you hope, okay, to keep pursuing your hopes, dreams, and aspiration, you have to keep seeing something that keeps you going. A whole lot. Like, listen, what I'm trying to summarize here is beneath at least 7 classes that I designed, the human design. You have to understand your own design, understand collectively our shared life experiences. Navigating that is the key to success. So let me stop there. Mr. Bosede, let me know when you're ready to engage, when you want to speak or ask any questions. I just gave a very, very high level. We'll go a little bit deeper, and then I'll share more of how you can access more resources and training to help you unlock the skills, the ultimate skills for success. Any reactions so far? You can also use the chat space for those on Clubhouse. You can use the chat space, introduce yourself, ask a question. If anything resonates, feel free to do that as well. I see Dave Shooter. How do you say that name? I also see you on Instagram. Hi, Dave. So if you want to engage, let me invite you up as well. And anything I've said so far, what resonates, what question does it raise within you? How are you processing it? What questions do you have? How do you want me to go deeper? Do you have appetite for that? Let me know as well. Okay, let me also. Okay, David, you don't have to change your name. Come on, I just saw you updated your description. That's okay. Let me invite other people as well. So when it comes to emotions, right, in those classes, you can access them at toyinumesiri.academy. This investment in yourself is a game changer. You want to ask yourself, where do emotions come from? Okay. How do you process your environment? When information comes into your mind, okay, how do you process them? What conclusions do you arrive at? I also explain difference between emotions and feelings, right? Feelings is layered with your own conclusions and decisions. Two people, three people can sit in the same space, experience the same thing externally, but their conclusions, the processing side of information, is distinct and unique to their own, right, computation of life experiences. Who you are, okay, determines how you process things. It also determines your filter, the filters you apply on life. Okay, what you attract energetically when we go into manifestation, because all of this, I'm speaking very fast. I'm going to slow myself down a little bit now. Okay, I can control that. I'm going to slow things down, but I just really quickly want to share eye level, and then we'll go into discussion, and there'll be a reading to our engagement today. Okay. And the reason I'm also speaking fast is I'm drawing from different classes that has PowerPoint. I'm trying to bring highlights from different classes just to make sure that those who haven't taken the classes, at least you can walk away with some form of high level understanding. And then I encourage you to go deeper, right? Literally, you're going to need pen, paper. You're going to need to process. You're going to go deeper. When you take my classes, right? You're going to chew. You're going to meditate, right? Because what's happening is you're going to go through a real life transformation. Okay. A real life transformation is required on this topic, because as long as you keep processing thoughts, feelings, emotions, the way you've always processed it, nothing will change, no matter what you keep consuming, no matter what you keep seeing. If you don't change this side of you, you have capped how far you can go. You can read 10 books all you want. What usually happens is that there's a default setting. Okay? Your belief system is your default setting. And that is used to filter. Your mind already filters and kick things out already. There are many things you're not seeing already. Okay? People who want success, you need to see opportunities. But if you keep saying, oh, the government is this, the person is this, if you've programmed yourself to only see the worst side of life, listen, your mind will keep presenting you what you say is happening to you. I've taught this class before about belief system. If you say these people are this, your mind will say, yes, I agree. In fact, let me show you. Let me show you more of those people. More of the worst case scenario that you've decided you want to experience in life. So your mind copies and pastes your belief system, makes it's the tool for ultimate manifestation. It just reads your intentions, your heart, and then presents it to you. In fact, part of emotional processing is when I say those fears, doubts, whatever those things are that your mind keeps presenting, that shocks you, makes you afraid, the stories that makes you afraid, makes you feel limited, you don't have this story, you can't do that, you don't have this story, right? All of those things that shows obstacles, that shows limitations, that tells you a story of what you cannot do. Okay, your mind is presenting to you an opportunity to fix your thoughts. And if you don't fix it, it keeps repeating the patterns and it keeps attracting. You're also connected to a universal system. Okay, I'm going deeper. Energetics. You're also connected. You are plugged into a system God created. Okay, that hears your thoughts. Not only does your mind hear your thoughts, other humans hears your thoughts and will respond to you based on how you make us feel. That alone is worth $1 million. You emit your thoughts. That's why you enter a room and you walk away knowing people didn't respond well to you. You can tell if people are welcoming to you or not. I'm saying reverse it. Other people when they come towards you, you can repel them or attract them simply by your energetic disposition. Okay, this is a lot, right? Okay. Is this, listen, we go deep because I see many people struggling, spending countless hours, 4 hours every day, consuming content, not realizing that at some point, the type of processing that has to happen inside of you is that your own inner universe, how you take in information, how you digest it, how you present it. Okay? The ones you hold on to, the ones you let go of, what you believe, what you don't believe, what you like, what you don't like. Those decisions determine everything that happens, everything that you attract, and everything that you don't attract. If people can understand this one thing, they'll change their own life. That's why last week I held a session. I talked about Christianity versus spirituality. And I talked about in the Christian faith, people tend to either blame God or blame the devil. Like, right? I'm being okay. If you watch that, if you haven't watched that, go check it out. Last week I spent time, just like I'm sharing today, for those of the Christian faith, a word of caution, okay, where the belief system many people have adopted, which is false, by the way, is that most people, when things happen to them or things don't happen to them, or they're waiting on something, right? They're believing God for something, they tend to go, God doesn't want to give it to me. God didn't do this. He didn't hear my prayers. They go. Some people go that route and sit down, mope, and say, "Oh, God doesn't do this," and come up with stories. That again, processing of the mind. Oh, maybe God. They come up with all kinds of stories, go down a rabbit trail, and then they're like God, and they think it is the form of spirituality to mope, to mourn, to say, "Oh, God is the maybe he doesn't." The why me, right? They go down that path. There's another path that people go through. Maybe I'll share there's something else I'll share about personality and identity today. Let me take notes. Identity. I hope somebody will remind me. Just popped up now. Victims, villains, victors. Maybe I'll highlight that today as well. I don't want to forget. So another group will go down this path. Oh, the enemy is this, this. Every single thing ascribed is like they are ascribing it to this. The one part that nobody talks about or they forget about is when they look in the mirror. How are you contributing to your own life? What are you responsible for? Are you standing in your own lane? Are you doing what is expected of you? Your thoughts, your belief system, your actions, your behavior, are they aligned to what God will reward? Or you think you can say anything, do anything, act anyway, and still, right? So this is the call to self. Not and many people misunderstand this as well. I was part of a session about almost 2 weeks now on self-love. Some people would okay, again, ignorance. Some people would think self-love is lack of humility, is pride. No, listen, the first place you are even going to practice love is with yourself. The first person you need to practice love with, love other people as yourself. You cannot love people more than you love yourself. It's not possible, because the same hand with which you deal with yourself is the same hand you deal with other people. Okay, the same way you process your own thoughts, when other people's thoughts come into you, the conclusions will be the same, right? That's what people don't understand, is that ultimately how you deal with people is how you deal with yourself. Ultimately. So the first thing you want to do, most people want to fix external situations, so they mask, right? They tune themselves to make other people happy, but yet their soul is not happy. Listen, on this journey of success for entrepreneurs and business owners, you go on this journey at the soul level, not at the mind level. because the mind would burn so much energy, confuse. Like, listen, it's not the mind that solves this journey, it's your heart. Because entrepreneurship in of itself is betting what's in your heart, the hopes, dreams, aspirations, ideas God is giving you. Your journey to bet it, to commercialize it, to use it to serve the world, to turn it into a product and service that other people can benefit from. That is the ultimate journey of business development. You're going to use your skills and talent to serve other people. So it's a soul journey. It's not just a, that's why many people, again, IQ, you can be smart, you can see ideas, but once you start that journey, there's only so far you can go if you don't activate the soul level EQ. Okay, at the heart level, EQ lives there. So I'm seeing some comments. Hekel says self-love is not pride. It's not pride and selfishness. The first place to practice love is with yourself. Yes. You said you love how you deal with people is how you deal with yourself. Yes. Okay, so so that resonates with you. Great, great, great. Thank you for being here. And definitely others as well. Invite more people. What we're sharing here is life-changing. And toyinumesiri.academy is where you can dive into my classes, workbooks, classes, courses, make that investment in your future, make that investment in your life. Everything changes, okay, when you develop this skill. Everything, trust me, everything changes. Listen, you're going to see life better. You're going to experience life better. You're going to attract higher dimensions of opportunities better if you do this work. Because you're going, no, people don't ascend into success dimension, into leadership, right, without this skill, emotional intelligence. In fact, the level of this skill that you develop will determine how far you can go. Why? You want to get married, you need EQ, a little bit of it. You want to get promoted, because, hear me well, if all you're still doing right now is navigating and trying to deal with your own emotions, are you really ready to deal with the emotions of 50 people, of 100 people, of 1,000 people, of 1,000,000 people? If you've not, yes, if you're not, if you've not found peace within yourself, if you've, and I, okay, as I'm saying this, I'm taking notes of some things, some highlights. When I talk about peace, I'll tell you where peace comes from. This is what Jesus died for, if you're a Christian, by the way, and I'll tell you how to take it back. Or maybe I should do that now. Let me do that now, because I keep taking notes of, again, I teach a lot of classes. There are over 300 resources in my school. So whenever I'm teaching, I get to pull in from different classes, different sessions, different resources I've given to my students. So let me quickly share how to increase your peace of mind. Because if you increase peace, you increase your creativity and you increase abundance in your life. So that one is important. And it's part of EQ. But the way I teach it, I connect it to spiritual psychology as well, right? So if you're a Bible reader, listen, you have to apply what you are reading to real life for you to manifest, for you to bet what's in there, what God's promises are. So when I talk about peace, this is what I found. You see, you have your mind, you have your heart. I'm just sharing eye level. In my classes, you go deeper, you save yourself, you really, really rescue your heart from all of these things. You have a mind that processes information. You have a heart that releases energy. Okay, I'm going into teaching mode now. Okay, and there are diagrams and there are PowerPoints you can access in my school. You have a mind. Listen, your mind is a system. Whatever you put in it, it would produce emotions, right? And it will do several things. It will produce emotions. It will give your body energy to do work. So, for example, if I say, what do you want to eat? Your mind would bring that information to you. What do you want to eat? If you say, I don't know, your mind will not do anything until you give it direction. When you give it direction, you're giving it permission for it to convert your thoughts into energy and chemical composition in your physical body. Nervous system does that. It will give your body the power to go and cook the food that you said you want to eat. That's one of the roles of the mind. You feed it your desires, your dreams, your hopes, your aspirations, and its job by design, by God's design, is to produce the physical representation of your thoughts, your desires. That's its job. That is its job. Part of its job. It does a whole lot of stuff. Where it gets really interesting, where I talk about peace. If you're at peace, that journey is so smooth. You just say, I want this. And your mind will say, yes. You have a very good relationship with your mind and your heart. The heart and the mind, they are best friends. But what happens is most people have gone through life where their heart and their minds are not best friends. They are in opposition with one another and they are fighting one another. Why? What you are having in your heart that God has given you, what you want, your mind is busy telling you you cannot have it. Why? Because it has been programmed to be abusing you. When we talk about trauma, programming, all of those things, if that mind has been hijacked and loaded with a bunch of crap, the day you want to rise up and start doing nice things with your life or moving in a direction, that mind, if it is in opposition with your future, you've got to deal with it. That's where there's no peace. That's where there's infighting. That fight starts inside you. And whoever wins determines your future. Because if that mind wins, if you believe a mind that tells you cannot do this, you cannot do that, oh, what will people say? Oh, this, you know what's going on in your mind. Your mind is presenting you a bunch of nonsense. Like, oh, you can, no, people like you don't do this. Oh, da, 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 da. It's giving you limitations. It's giving you fears. It's giving you doubt. It's presenting that to your heart. That's why people will grip their heart. That's the birthplace of depression. It gives hopelessness. An untrained mind that has been programmed not to see a better future, but it keeps presenting horror stories. That's why people give up and surrender to that mind. This is deep. As I said, spiritual psychology is part of this thing. The question is, what happened to the mind? Who programmed the mind? And spiritual awakening, when we talk about spiritual awakening, is until you grow and mature and develop these skills that I'm saying, invest in this skill, get the classes, complete the classes, so that you now have the tools and the power to make your mind your subject, so that you are not the subject of your mind. It is a skill. You've spent 40 plus 50 years being run by your mind. When it is time for you to now reverse, that's why it's spiritual awakening, because only the divine side of you can do this work. You need extra power, particularly when your mind is so strong and has been well programmed. Train a child in the way the child should go. When the child is old, the child will not depart from it. That also works positively as negatively. If you've been trained by a successful family, by a loving family, a giving family, a generous, prosperous family, listen, you've been programmed. You don't even need to do much. Just continue that autopilot. You will be more successful because you've been groomed and trained. You will not depart from the success that you were raised and groomed in. But if you've been raised not to believe in yourself, to doubt yourself, to mute yourself, and now you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to be a business owner, you want to build mansions, you have dreams, aspirations that God has given you. But the people that handled you and the way you are handling yourself and the way you are handling other people will not give back to that life. That's the work. And I tell you, only the divine nature, a superpower can do this work. Why? Because you have to get stronger than your own mind. You have to be short. That's why the Bible will talk about tear down strongholds, opposition, anything coming at you that is opposing. You need the skill to be able to see it and right. Only your divine nature can conquer that inner battle. Because if you haven't matured your divine nature and that divine nature is at the emotional level, not the intellect, not the smart, not the psychological, right? Because even the smarter you are intellectually, the more stronger you must be emotionally. Because if you are more smart and you are not emotionally wise, wisdom, whoever is stronger, right, is the one that runs the show. Whichever part of you is stronger, whether intellectually you are stronger than emotionally, listen, that's your identity. Now, let me go into identity that I took note of. But before I go into that identity, I'll connect what I just shared with identity. Okay? But let me open it up. Mr. Bosede, are you back? Oh, you're on the phone? Okay. So let me go. Dave, if you want to, anybody that wants to comment or ask a question, do that as well. Okay? Now, let me connect what I talk about peace to 3 identities I've seen, which is coming out of that relationship between the heart and mind. Okay, many people are intellectually like smart, 2 degrees, 10 degrees. You know how you can solve serious problems. You are logical, like that computer, the computer. You know how to solve, and you know you are very, very smart, and you are very confident in what you've studied in school, right? All of that. My point today is emotional strength is more powerful than no matter how smart you are. In fact, what I have seen is that many people have used their smarts to kill their dreams, because many of the things God will tell you to do will not follow logic. It won't. That's why many people will not invest. How many times have I said, take my class? The reason you are not taking the class is logic. They're like, oh, you don't have this money. Oh, what? I don't need to take that. I can find this online. All of that story. Logic kills many, many opportunities, particularly if it has not been trained or retrained to support your future. Logic will stay in your past. It keeps people bound in survival mode. You can't do this. Don't do this. If you do this, nobody will do this. You don't have this. You don't have that. It will tell you you've allocated them. It will be telling you story that will not make people make the investments, commit the time, focus on their dreams. Yes, this is what I've seen. People very, very, very intellectually smart enough that anything that is not logical, they shut it down. But trust me, things that are spiritual, things that are emotional, things that are futuristic, your own future will not follow logic. That's how God works. God doesn't follow your logic. He will tell you, my thoughts are higher than your thoughts. My ways are higher than your ways. And trust me, God will try to speak to your heart to get you to believe, to get you to have faith. Faith is in your heart. It doesn't follow logic. God will tell you to take a step forward. It will tell you, talk to this person. It will tell you, get to this coach, ask this person to mentor you, go here, go there. And logically, your mind cannot understand why. And so anybody that relies on their mind, as long as they cannot understand why, they will not take that step of faith. They won't take it. Show up. Mind will say, why do you want me to show up? I showed up to the one last week. What did they give me? They'll say, come. Mind will say, what? Come. They should come to me. Why should I go to them? Arrogance is in the mind. Ego is in the mind. Learn. Why do I have 10 degrees? I went to Harvard and Stanford. What is this person going to take? That's the ego. It's in the mind. So smart and brilliant and intelligent that they want to override spiritual matters with their mind. Where will God, according to the power of God that works in you, trust me, God doesn't work. He doesn't follow your logic. He will tell you to do things, go places, call people, and make investments that your mind will scream at you. Will tell you, people will tell you, you will think your mind will tell you are not smart. Even anybody you tell that's also logical like you, that doesn't dream, that doesn't take risks, that doesn't see the future, those people too, if you expose your dreams to chaotic minds, they will kill it for you. That's where fear, all of these things come from minds that are not exposed, minds that are not believing, minds that have not been tuned to take spiritual steps of faith in the direction of a future they don't know. God said, I will make a way in the desert. But your mind, if it cannot see the way, will tell you no, because it's trying to save you. To say no, Egypt, stay in Egypt, oh, at least you're hitting this, at least stay on your job, or at least they're paying you this, you're paying you this, you're paying this. And then you'll be like, oh, yeah, this makes sense. The mind will always make sense. To make sense, it has to make sense because it's logical. That's why I said the journey now into entrepreneurship, business development, higher dimensions of success, your mind is not the one to lead. It cannot lead this show. I'm warning you, this mind, if you let it lead, it will lead you back into survival. That's why people go round and round and round the circle. Even at the edge of breakthrough in the promised land, their mind saw Goliath, told a story, they are like ants. Because of that mind, God could not work with that mind. He said, go back. Only those who have faith and say, you know what? We can go. We can win. We can conquer. That's the heart EQ, wisdom, heavenly dimension. Only those who can tune to that voice will move forward and have victory. That identity, because of this inner battle people go through, and that's why I designed these programs to help you win your inner battle. Because if you don't win it, it's reflection of what you're going to confront externally. When something shows up, that same mind will say, oh, and then you are scared. Because the mind will say, oh, this is what's going to happen to you if you do this. And then you believe it. And because you believe it, it tells a scary story. So people whose mind creates chaos and scary stories, right, creates anxiety, and they become a victim of that storyline. So that's one of the identities I've encountered that I continue to see, right? An identity that makes them a victim. This person did this to me. The government is this. So it shows you all the barriers to your success. It shows you all the limitations. It tells you who will not let you go. It comes up with a list of things that are in your way. And that's where anxiety is. Lack of power to remove those barriers. It's presenting it to your heart. But if your heart is not strong enough, okay, to tap into higher dimensions of power and take that bull by the horn and tell it another story and change that programming and tell it something else that knocks that barrier down, people hang on into a state of anxiety. Why? Because there's no other story. They are locked into a story that shows them a future they don't want to enter, a current state they don't like, and they cannot see anything out of that. Why? At the EQ level is the only one. You have to give strong weapons to your heart for your heart to win that battle. So I see victims that keeps navigating and talking about what their minds have told them will not help them move forward in the direction God has for them. Number two, I also see villains. On this journey, if you do this work long enough, you will encounter them. In fact, that's one of the things many people have encountered. Victims encounter villains. And villains, oh Lord, let me be. Okay, I have to be. This is deep stuff. Let me just talk about not being a villain. There's victim, there's villain. At the end of the day, there are times, and by the way, everybody has this combination. It just depends on case in point. Okay? The villain will make enemy of everybody. You have to watch it, you have to manage it. The villain sees their mind, right? The victim would say, oh, it's the government, it's this, but the victim doesn't have power to go and fight the government, right? Or fight anybody else. But the villain does. The villain will pick people and things that is within reach. And this is where we have to be careful. People who do gossiping, judgment, who judge other people, who use their mouths, their abilities, their capabilities to tear other people down, they fall into this kind. They're not going anywhere. They already know, right? They already see the barriers. But when they now erect that you are the barrier, you're done. They want to, right? So you don't want to be that person as well. Because whether it's villain, whether it's victim, they are not going towards success. They've already concluded that there is a problem. They've already concluded that certain people will not let them move forward. The victim will take that person as their full-time job, make sure they tear that person down because they are seeing that person as the opposition. The victim will sit down, moan, complain, and not move forward. Both of those, right, is tied to emotional intelligence, right? The inability to conquer your own thoughts and fears. The third identity, where these skills and these classes, I keep nudging people, invest in this, you need this skill, is where you are aware of what those things are, but you have the skill to navigate. This is where wisdom is in navigating. You are aware. It's like a pilot. You don't say you're not going to fly because there are clouds. You see, you don't say you're not going to build your business because, oh, all those things will be in your way. You don't say you're not going to do what God wants you to do because, oh, this person will not do this person will not. You don't arrive at a conclusion that because of these challenges, then the journey is not worth going. That's what happened to the children of Israel. Because of Goliath, they concluded a journey they've been going on. People that have been in slavery for 400 years, they've been going around and around. When it is now time to go into the promised land, they came up with a story that made that an entire generation of people live outside of the promise in the desert land. That's why this is so important, that you can be so close to destiny. You can be so close to the answer God has for you. You can be so close to the promised land. And if you don't watch your emotions, if you don't watch your words, if you don't watch your behaviors, you can disqualify yourself simply by your thoughts and your words. You have to be careful. That's why I always tell people, ask for forgiveness quickly and forgive yourself, forgive other people so that you can keep moving forward. But many people now, they've not forgiven somebody for 10 years. I'm trying to be funny. That lack of forgiveness is why you are stuck where you are. That's why you are not moving forward. You don't know that you have to clear your heart for you to move forward and let other people go. I know I've said a lot. But I'm just trying to stir people up to to see a unique side of life, right? That people will not share with you. But it has nothing to do with technical skills. In fact, people who don't have your technical skills, I've seen it, they build wealth faster because, listen, they have enough emotional EQ to be self-aware, to know what they cannot do, what they can do better. They will pay higher people to do all the technical things they cannot do because they are self-aware enough, and they also honor other people. They can see strengths in other people, and they can tap and use those strengths to rise higher. Partnerships. People who are so smart and they believe only in their own technical abilities and they don't see strength in anybody, they cannot partner, they cannot collaborate, and so they cannot build anything big. They can't be, because they went to school, all your degrees and your belief in yourself, that confidence. Listen, with confidence without wisdom make people do small things. Confidence without wisdom, God will just be looking at you. You think you can do it all. You don't call on God. You don't call on his people. You don't call for help. You don't call for coaches. You don't call for mentors. You don't ask anybody questions. You think you know it all. It's an echo chamber of limitation. You are limited to your own thoughts, capacity. So whatever your own personal capacity, how far it can take you, that's how far you can go. But you don't know how to tap into the capacity of other people. Because why? You cannot see strengths of other people. And also, strength scares some people. Some people cannot sit with the strength of another. When they see somebody performing higher, again, this mind, right? The victim assault. Oh, I can do what she's doing. Right? You don't regard other people's ability. You don't recognize other people's ability. It's part of this mindset. You see somebody's abilities, instead of celebrating that person and saying, God, oh, wow, I admire you. Wow, listen, oh, good job. Like, subscribe. Like, instead of celebrating other people, you want to be celebrated, but you can't celebrate other people. Why? Victim mentality, villain mentality. Is that the person goes, oh, Oh, this is the life I wanted to live, but this, oh, right? It's the Cain and Abel. Abel made a sacrifice, Cain made a sacrifice. One was accepted, one was rejected. The villain in Cain killed the brother. Why? Simply because the brother's sacrifices was accepted. Do you see this personality I'm talking about? And God intercepted and said, listen, Cain, if you do what the person did, you too will be accepted. But no, 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 no. These personalities, when they see other people being accepted, being successful, what will come out of their mouth is the bear in them. I'm calling these things out because, listen, a little of it, little here and there, these are the things we need to clean up. But it's tied to wisdom. Once you become aware of what's going on inside yourself and you take responsibility, now you can make a decision. Now you can rise above the conditions and the stories your mind is telling you. If you don't rise above your own mind, and if you don't use your mind, right? You're supposed to be bigger than your mind. You're supposed to use your mind, walk in the spirit so that you don't gratify the desires of the flesh. The more you build your internal capacity, the more the mind becomes more powerful in your hands. But if the power is only in your mind and not in your heart, your heart becomes a subject of your mind instead of your mind becoming a subject of your heart and your soul. Instead of your mind, right, following the direction of your heart and your soul, instead of your soul leading this charge, getting into the driver's seat. If the mind is on autopilot, has been programmed to behave a certain way, that's where people are at right now. And it repeats pattern because the mind was programmed in the past. It will keep recreating the past until you decide to program it into your desired higher future. So when it comes to entrepreneurship business, again, I'm just giving you a very just brush stroke. The classes goes into self-leadership, self-regulation, right? Self-therapy, right? Engaging with other people, the human design, the heart, the mind, the body, right? Understanding yourself, understanding other people, communication skills, getting into what's going on in your heart, giving you the skills to regulate yourself, giving you the power to, right? Also learn how to tell a story, okay, that will manifest prosperity for you. Many people tell stories that manifest lack. Oh, you don't have this. Oh, you don't have that. Oh, you don't have this. That story, remember, your mind will listen to those stories and make it true. Your mind's job is to obey you and do whatever you put into it. So if you say you don't lack, it will make you not to have. That's why in the manifestation creator method, when I start going into spiritual psychology in my school, listen, I teach a lot of technical things, branding, marketing. You have a ton of workbooks, 12 workbooks, 10 weeks on technical things. I'm telling you the non-technical side of this, which is more powerful. This is the higher dimension. At the creative power, when you understand the God in you, remember, God created you in his image. The version of God that is in God's image follows a different design and principle than the version that is afraid, limited, lacking. Those two things are different identities. If you haven't tapped into the divine nature, the nature of God in you, you have a divine nature, you have a nature of God. God put in you a God nature. That God nature, when I say your divine self, if you don't awaken it, if you don't wake it up, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that comes out of the mouth of God, is that you have a nature that only that nature can ascend into prosperity dimensions. Because on your journey, you encounter the limitations of your mind, of the flesh. And if you don't have the skills to tear down those limitations, to rise above it, that's where you stop. Your mind says you don't have. It doesn't say. But your divine nature knows all things are possible to them that believe. Right? There are some stories and programming of your divine nature that makes you do what David did. See opposition and tear it down. One of my classes, the game plan, 12 strategies for winning in life and business. One of the strategies for winning in life is learning how to remove barriers to your success. No, it's not about saying there are no barriers. oh, this, is to acknowledge them, but not erect, right, cages because of your barriers. Okay, is to start with strategies that limit and eradicate, right? In the world of business, we talk about risk mitigation. It's not to say there are no risks. Any great thing you want to do, trust me, want risk, we will label the risk 1, risk 2, risk 3. I'm not saying there aren't risks for going into new territories, claiming new ground, starting a business, investing in the future. Everything that is fantastic, the mind will tell you, oh, this can happen, oh, that can happen. Your job is to capture those risks, see it for what it is, not see it as a barrier, but see it as something you must manage. And then come up with a strategy. Okay, let's just bring forward a risk management system. Everybody needs a risk management system. But when your mind is telling you, this risk, this person will come, and then your heart sees all of that stuff, and then the heart says, where do you start from? Oh, you get overwhelmed. You don't even know what steps to take. That's why I say take coaching, take my classes. This is nothing new, but those who do not rise above investing and guide and coach the inner self to gain the strength, they give up. Right, and rightly so, because I tell you, emotions are real. There are chemical reactions in your body, and trust me, you know what you know yourself. You know. I don't need to tell you. Every human knows emotions. Every human knows emotions. The key is, do you know how to use it to propel yourself forward? And emotion is tied to thoughts, okay? Energy from your heart. Thoughts come from, information is processed by the mind. These two, when they are working together inside you, if they have peace, you will do great things. But if there's a war, that's where each of these classes will help you understand and calm everything down. I know one of my students was like, wow, after taking these classes, I felt like, wow, is this another life? You know, for people who have gotten so used to chaos, well, what will people say? What would this do? If you go this, oh, if you try that, oh, you tried this, it didn't work, you backed out. Tried another, it didn't work, you backed out. Try this. Trust me, the reason you are backing out is you encounter the limitations of your own mind. Where your mind allows you to go, particularly if you're a subject of your mind. You know, the five senses will say, oh, this person did not approve this. So you give up on your dream. This customer did not buy. So you shut down your business. People give up for different reasons, but ultimately, people give up to the level where their mind can sustain. Because as the mind is trying to figure things out, if the mind gets so tired and doesn't see any way forward, it tells you it's done, right? And so if you believe your mind and you're not able to feed your mind higher thoughts, higher dimensions, right, bigger insights, sense of possibility, and you replace with sense of limitation, and people, trust me, in that echo chamber, your thoughts are real to you, and your thoughts is all you have to work with. Your thoughts, that's all you have to work with. That's why you have to buy the truth. Bible say, buy the truth, sell it not. But if those thoughts are lies, it doesn't matter whether they are lies or not. As long as you believe them, they manifest. So let me wrap up. Go to toyinumesiri.academy. Take the human design, emotional intelligence class for entrepreneurs and business owners. It's more technical. Anytime I come out, I play more of a therapist just to create awareness of what's going on. But the solution to everything I'm sharing really ultimately is to develop the skills for your own life, to navigate your own life. Learn, process, develop skills, practice it, gain expertise, continue to do it, gain mastery. When you gain mastery, your life changes. And part of what I've also said is that, and I've seen this, is that if you work on yourself, life will promote you. Life will promote you to the level of your own personal development capacity. Because life doesn't want to overwhelm you. So when you say, oh, you're overwhelmed, things back out. God doesn't want to impose you. So he waits for you to grow. Many are called, few are chosen. He waits for you to do this work, muscle, gain your own emotional capacity, develop it, develop yourself. Trust me, even in your workplace, you will be promoted if you do this work. The people you see, VP, vice presidents, CEOs, directors, those people are those who become governors, mayors, presidents, is because they can muscle and handle. Their emotional capacity is why they are promoted. Have you ever seen a mayor that goes on TV and starts complaining? We cannot do this. The reason I cannot be a good mayor is because you people are asking me too many questions. I don't like this report. Have you gone there before? Have you ever seen your mayor or governor going and complaining on? That's what you didn't hire them for that job, for them to be complaining. You believed in their capacity to do what they said they would do. That capacity, that strength, that emotional strength, the emotional resilience to get the job done without complaining is why we hire and vote for people. That's why people get promoted. And God does the same. God does the same. He doesn't want to promote you and then you say, oh, why did you promote me? The people here are this, the people here are that. Oh, this. You get married. Oh, I don't like this. Oh, you're complaining. When your blessing becomes something, you turn your blessings into something else. Nobody votes for that. Nobody promotes people who complain. I haven't seen it. In fact, you get into the rooms, you complain, they send you back. Will Smith, you go in, you punch somebody, they remove you. Those rooms remove people who haven't complied, who cannot deal with their emotions. You go and start demonstrating. Yeah, if you're outdoor, you can, not here. You're complaining about your clients, complaining about your customers, complaining about your vendors, complaining about your spouse, listen, I'm talking to, this is the real stuff. Awareness. When you hear those things rising up within you, better clean it up and quickly say forgive. You have to let it go, because those who want higher levels of success, you don't find yourself complaining. Complaining is part of victim. Somebody did this something to you, and so you don't have the power to fix your own internal state of being. You have to fix it, and you keep moving forward. You fix it, you move. So the skills, the tools you need to do that work, you can find it in the classes. Questions? Okay. I know this could be heavy stuff, but it's the real stuff. If there's something else that I think will change your life, I'll tell it to you. I'll share. I won't hold back. Okay, that's it. But I want to give people reaction, time to react, time to ask questions if you want me to go deeper. Otherwise, I think today it is a good place to wrap it up. Okay, B Nikki, you want to come back or get feet? I see many familiar faces here. Greetings, everyone. Greetings. B Nikki, are you back? I see you on what's it called? Instagram. You were on Clubhouse before. If you want to come back, great. If not, you know how to reach me. And I see Olushola following. Thanks for following. So the link to my business school and community, I put it up on Clubhouse. Join us. Take the class. It's a game changer. Sets you free. You can read more in the school as well. On that note, it's a wrap. I'm doing an hour today, and I'm going to stop it unless somebody else wants me to keep going or answer any question. But if not, take care now. God bless. The replay will be on. I see more people joining. I just saw the number go up. The replay, I'm going to leave the replay on. And I also released several, let me tell you a few things that's going on. For international trade development, every Wednesday, we're kicking off our Q&A session, networking session at nazaru.trade. That's the international trade development. So if you're an exporter, importer, trade facilitator, government business, so it's a business to government platform. If you want to keep advancing, okay, when it comes to your export import project, join me at the Trade with Africa network. That's the international side of our work. Africa is open for business. Check us out there. And if you want to export US products to Africa or import African products to the US, or learn how to be a consultant where you make money from offering your services, those classes are there. Trade facilitation, right? Export classes, all my events, Trade with Africa's, summits, all the events, all the knowledge experts that we've had over the years, you can access those resources. Become a member, a professional member, and you have access to all of that, and our weekly engagement. The second part is, learning how to build a business. What happens is that while I keep teaching like advanced business, what I call the Olympics of business, competing at the highest levels of business, what I saw also is many people that are going to that dimension, they've never built a business before. Okay, so over the years, we've established the Entrepreneurs Academy, right, the business school and community, really for you to learn how to build world-class businesses, right? So the technical skills you need, okay, to build a world-class business, that's what I cover. I've been teaching for at least 3 years in that school. So we have very structured, robust technical skill development, right? And also when it now comes to higher level sales, particularly in sales, anybody that wants to get wealthy, listen, the energetic side of sales, no matter what you build, no matter what products you have, products and services is not what determines success. When you move into selling those products and services, that's when you will appreciate what I talk about, EQ skills. In fact, one of the classes I designed is using EQ, okay, and psychology to sell better. Because you can have great products, but if you cannot attract people, you cannot communicate with people, you cannot get people to see the value of what's in your hands, and you cannot get people to trust you and give you their money, you are holding products in your hands, but what you want is to exchange it for money, but only the people that people trust and like and connect with. Those are the people will buy from. So if you don't develop the skills of selling, you can create products and those products are sitting, but who's going to sell it? That's when you appreciate when I say EQ. Technical people can build a product, can build a solution. Only emotional, intelligent people can sell it. Only emotional people, emotionally intelligent, human relational intelligence, right? Who can see people, listen to people, understand people, connect with people, serve people, encourage people, support people. Only those people can sell. Thank you.